There's so much I want to talk to my friend L.A Marzulli about, and I just want to simply welcome you, sir. Thank you for being with me today.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Oh man, LA, I want to get right into it because
Sure.
you've been on the path of the Nephilim for so many years. You are an expert in these areas. You've brought up information that has just been fascinating to me about the giant of Kandahar. But I'd like to jump right in on some specific issues that are going around.
Hi, Diane. Good to see you.
It's this asteroid scenario. What do you know about that? People have speculated things. There's a lot happening. What is your take on this asteroid scenario?
Well, my take is we need to watch.
Okay.
That's my take. That's the first thing. We just can't check it off and dismiss it. Oh, it's just an asteroid. Oh, it's just a comet.
No, I heard the first 10 minutes of this, and he says so much in this 10 minutes I've never heard him say before.
On it, Bob.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is. Abbey Loeb on the Loeb scale. Okay, Howie, take a deep breath. And I tried to get him on my show, but that I digress. The bottom line is we don't know what this thing is, and Abbey Loeb on his 10-point scale, he has it as a 4. So 10 being we're full contact. So we don't know what this thing is. There's all sorts of stuff, a lot of nonsense on the internet. In fact, I was on Nino Rodriguez's show. I'm not trying to name drop, but Nino had these two people on, a man and a woman, and this one guy was saying, this is it. This is definitely an alien ship. A woman was going, this is the return of the Anunnaki, and it's like I'm just going, hey, wait a minute,
Yeah, Anunnaki.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like, and look, I don't know what we're looking at. I will tell you this, that if it really, well, we know it comes in on the ecliptic. So the ecliptic
This is that asteroid that's coming in, Di. That's what they're talking about.
is here's the sun in the middle.
Hey,
All
boss.
planets
Good to see you, bro.
rotate around this thing. That's the ecliptic because they're all on the same plane. How does that work? I
Right.
mean, that in itself is an absolute, it's way beyond my pay grade. But it's coming in on the ecliptic and will pass, very close to like some of the planets that are there. I think one of them is Jupiter. So if we start seeing signals, if this thing changes course.
Hey,
or
Shawnee.
stops-
Good to see you.
Whoa, okay, now we all take a deep breath. But the other side of the aisle was already going, the Anunnaki is returning.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wait a minute. And I'm trying to get this one woman, Dr. Heather Lynn, on my show. She wrote a book about the Anunnaki, and I want to sort of, she's real smart. And the book is
Oh,
really well
man.
written.
That's not what I
But,
wrote.
it's like, okay, the Anunnaki, I get that. But when you look at what the fallen angels do in the book of Enoch, compare them to the Anunnaki, I mean, are we looking at the same event? And in my opinion, we are. That's because remember, the flood is way down here, and Moses comes in and writes the Torah way later, like way later. Moses isn't writing the Torah, he's not being transported back to the days of Noah. He's not. So it's like thousands of years later. So, that's the paradigm, and of course the book of Enoch that I tenaciously hold on to. There's this mingling of the seed, Genesis 3:15. So the Anunnaki are the fallen angels, in my opinion, coming and doing all the mischief, as
Yeah, I trust the Enoch book 1, to be honest.
Chuck Missler would say. Thousands of years, and then the flood happens, and then the recreation, Noah, repopulation of the earth, and the rest is history. And finally, and I'm actually going to present this, and I'll sort of tip my hand here. I'll be at the Prophecy Watchers Conference from the 8th to the 12th in October, coming right up.
Wow.
And my second one presentation is on the Shroud. Of course, we have our film on the Shroud, Holy Fire, Holy.
Oh man, I've got to get
Holy
that.
Shroud, Holy Fire. I'll send it to you. Just shoot me
Please,
an
sir.
address, or I'll give you a link. You can just watch it, stream it. And it's the Holy Shroud is the shroud, the Sudarium of Oviedo, and then of course the Holy Fire, which has been manifesting in Jerusalem. But the second presentation will be on what lies beneath Giza. What are we looking at with Giza?
Oh my
What
goodness,
is-
please.
right?
Let's go
Right?
into
What's
Giza.
going on here?
Yeah,
And I
LA.
raised my hand, and this is what I think. We are looking at pre-flood. We are looking at Nephilim architecture, fallen angel technology, which the Lord destroyed. There was a civilization that was here, and we see vestiges of it at places like Sacsayhuaman. Now, an archaeologist, if he was here on the
Boss, we're going to play that at the end of this one.
show, he'd be like, wait a minute, Marzulli, the Inca did that. really the Inca moved 40, 60-ton stones and carved them with copper chisels. And we show in one of our films, you can't carve andesite with a copper chisel. So how was it done? Quit lying to us. And quit calling us names like you're just a pseudo-archaeologist. Excuse me, I've been there. I've seen it. And the stones are unbelievable. And they're fit together, with great precision. And if I was a millionaire, like money to throw around, I would have the L.A Marzulli Inca Challenge. Bring me your best stone, mate. Let's go. We'll bring the stones from the quarry, which, by the way, is 45 miles away. We'll bring the Massachi. Just build a 20-foot wall for us. Just show us how it's done. Yeah. Show us how they were lifted. Show, just think. If you can't cut andesite stone with a copper chisel, then you can't do it. So my point is this civilization was there in Egypt. Where does all the nonsense start? Where does it really take off after the flood? Where does it settle in? Isn't it interesting? And I don't think anybody's ever put this together. I could be wrong. I don't know. But where does Abraham go and why? And why does the Lord tell him you're going to go down to Egypt for 4 years? So the answer is two for him. Soon the Amorites come to its fullness. So the Amorites will have enough of the tribes in the promised land. But no, Abraham's not going to the promised land. He's going down to Egypt. Why down to Egypt? Because the Lord's going to raise up somebody, right? Because Egypt is a full-blown occult center, which was built on the remains of this.
Man. They just found this, LA, and they just found this through ground-penetrating radar from satellites, right?
Yeah, correct.
A whole city.
Well, I interviewed the scientists on my show. And, unbeknownst to me, when I interviewed this a couple of months back now, when the story first broke, they said, because the reporting was very sketchy. And, they quoted Zaliolos, there's nothing there, blah, blah, blah. Peter, wait a minute, not so fast. They had two satellites going over the Giza Plateau, numerous passes. This isn't just one little flyby. This is two different satellites, two different protocols with the ground penetrating radar. And they're flying over Giza, making multiple passes over this thing. And then they did a conference about a month ago.
What was it made for, I wonder?
And I'm still waiting to get it, get my able to watch it because they don't have it. It's not there yet, but soon, very soon. And they're standing by their work. Meanwhile, I interviewed a woman who had been underneath Giza, the Giza Plateau. We're talking a couple of 100 feet. There's this whole labyrinth of passageways, waterways. I mean, who knows what's down there?
Right.
And you'll get up, you'll find a tunnel, and there's a steel door with a lock on it. I mean, what? Quit lying to us.
Yeah.
Quit telling us that the pyramids were built by the Egyptians. With all due respect to Zaliolos and so-called Egyptologists, we're not buying it for a second.
No, not at all.
A second. And here's something else. No one even knew that the pyramid was an 8-sided structure. It's 8-sided. It's not 4. So let's say this is one of the sides. It goes in the middle. And we only discovered that when the first airplane flew over.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Because you can't see it from the ground. But from the air, you can see it. So isn't it interesting that Moses and Aaron show up where? In Pharaoh?
Shawnee, I think they'll be reptilians and giants. I've shown the giant in the Ferguson riots in real time. He's a huge bugger. He's about 10 foot tall. So they've already got these giants underground waiting to go. And I reckon the reptilians are their boss.
Pharaoh's court. What's going on in Pharaoh's court? Full-blown occult paradigm. It's the dragon all day long.
Wow.
This is why, and the Lord is showing we're not going to do this again.
I get into it with you because I get so thrilled having you on the program because you are just a library of information and world research. And so, this Anunnaki thing, I want to touch on that for a moment. Many people, they brush off the pre-Adamic civilization conversation. They brush off the book of Enoch. But yet the world is embracing this Anunnaki, planet Nibiru, all this stuff. Yeah. And so that's a deception. Yes, that's a massive deception that the world's embracing. But it's really a counterfeit of something we can explain. Is that correct?
I would say, yeah. I mean, the other side of the aisle have already indoctrinated your kids and your grandkids.
Yes.
Every Friday night, Ancient Aliens is there. I was on the first 2 seasons. And the reason why I left it, we started my former business partner, Richard Shaw, and I created the Watcher series
Yeah.
because I was not getting a fair shake on ancient. And they call me up about every year, can we have this footage? No. It's like, will you come on the show? No, I
There
won't,
we
because
go.
all you're going to do is spin what I say. There's no guarantee. I've seen the contract. I know what it is. So your kids and your grandkids are already indoctrinated because they're sitting there watching the whole ancient astronaut theory. And, if they go away to college, they're completely indoctrinated into the Darwinian paradigm. So, there's no Jesus. Well, he was a good man, but he's really not God. There is no God. There are no moral absolutes. Prophecy doesn't exist. There are no miracles. It's all Darwinism. There's really no purpose of life other than procreate. And by the time they come back for Thanksgiving, their heads are spinning.
Right.
They don't know what to believe, right?
Right.
And I've seen this over and over and over again. So they're not colleges, they're indoctrination centers is what they are. And usually a Christian conservative will go in and come out, left wing and all sorts of other stuff. One of the slogans in college, straight in the fall by spring, which is exactly true. You're throwing your kid into a cesspool.
Yes.
Pool,
Yeah, it is.
which is, and these are the greatest, like Harvard University up there in Massachusetts, Charlie. Let me tell you, a bastion of conservatism. Nonsense. It's a bastion of liberalism, right? It's like you send your kid to Harvard, forget about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be indoctrinated in ways that are just profound. So, oh, LA, you're just one of those religious fundamentalists. You bet your boots I am. Because
Amen.
at 75 years old, this is it. You show me any other book on the planet that has a thread of prophecy from Genesis to Revelation. Doesn't exist. And now we know we're in the last days, and it'll be like the days of Noah. Let me just jump down another rabbit hole.
Please do.
So I'm all over the map.
I love it. Come on, Ari.
Come on,
Here
man.
we go.
Come on.
When Jesus is
Come
talking
on,
about the
come
days
on.
of Noah 2,000 years ago, everybody knows exactly what he's talking about. Everyone. There's no, nothing, no equivocation. Everybody knows exactly what Jesus is talking about. How do we know this? Because Josephus, first century Jewish historian, writes in his very colorful tome that the bones of the Nephilim were openly on display in Jerusalem at the time of his writing. Which means, when Jesus says, hey, it'll be like the days of Noah, nobody's scratching their heads going like, gee, I wonder what he means. Everybody knows exactly what he means. It's the return of the Nephilim. It'll be like the days of Noah. The Nephilim will be here. Now, in the 4th century, you get this knucklehead by the name of Julius Africanus. And I use that term with...
Go ahead, that's how they'll start saying they created us.
Great specificity. Because that...
I pick the Egyptian dynasty. I think they'll represent that.
That's who he is. It's Julius Africanus, who just pulls this theological rabbit out of his hat and invents the Sethite theory. Just invents it. So the sons of God become the godly lines of Seth, and the women, the earthly women who are here, are the hoochie mamas of Cain. But hoochie mama is not in the biblical verse, and Seth is never mentioned. I mean, and this is what's taught in the seminary. If you were going to keep one verse away from upcoming pastors, that's what you... So no, everyone knows what Jesus is saying. Now, in the 21st century, it's the Sethite theory. Angels can't, procreate. Are no such thing as the Nephilim. Nothing to see here. Shut up and go away. And that's why we have all these films. That's why we go to Peru. And that's why we do the DNA. To show the world that we are in the days of Noah, and there was a diaspora when Joshua and Caleb go into the promised land, and they start to remove these Nephilim tribes.
Look at that. And LA, you found the elongated skulls down there. You found, as I recall, fragments of red hair even on some of these skulls.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
What is the latest update with it? Is there anything
they reckon the Cyclops has had red hair.
to share that you've seen?
I can share a little bit.
Oh, please do.
I will. So this is what we know. We had, if I could check,
What? No $49 fee? That's unusual.
can't share my screen, I don't think. And it would take me a while to find the photograph. So I'm not going to do it.
Brand new book, Rungs of Disclosure. Man, do I encourage everybody getting this. We're going to have this available as well. But man, there's so much in this. But LA, please share whatever you have updated with the elongated skulls, South America.
We have an artifact We've done C14 dating on it. It is 800 years old, so it's pre-Columbian. That's the first thing.
Wow.
We've done DNA testing on it. The haplogroup, it was found in Bolivia. Okay, so it's 800 years old. So no one brought it from the Middle East and brought it over here and set it in a graveyard in Bolivia. That didn't happen. It's
Vast. It sounds like a giant power plant, doesn't it? I don't know, them cylinders underneath the pyramid, that should solve the problem. Why aren't they telling people they've solved it?
Columbian. It's 800 years old, 825 years old. Pre-Columbian. The haplogroup, the DNA, the mitochondrial DNA, which comes from the female side of the equation, shows a Middle Eastern origin. That rewrites history.
And with them columns, Vast, were they near the the Nile River at any time? Were the pyramids near them?
But people don't like that.
Wow.
We've
Because the water changes course.
also done preliminary testing on it. And to give you an idea of just how unbelievable this really is, Neanderthal, okay, is about 99.5% equal to a modern human. 99.5%. Their DNA is 99.5% the same as a modern day human. Chimpanzees and gorillas are 98.5.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, most people don't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
The Paracas skull, 96.5.
No kidding.
Wow.
And we are doing we're doing a deep dive on it, and there'll be probably a peer review paper sometime early next year, perhaps followed by a press conference. We've already done one press conference, and everybody they don't care because they don't want to look at the evidence. They don't want to because it completely blows their paradigm right out of the water. It blows the Darwinian paradigm. And we're not talking about extraterrestrials. Oh, there's Marzulli with the extraterrestrials. These are interdimensional entities. This is Genesis 3:15. Their seed will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not cleave to them. Daniel 2:43. Seal up the words of the book, Daniel, until the time of the end. Men will run to and fro over the face of the earth, knowledge will increase. We are here in the last day. Knowledge is increased as we're talking, men and women running to and fro over the face of the earth. Guess what? Their seed is mixing with the seed of men. They are not cleaving to them. This is why we published the book, Stolen Seed Evil Harvest. And you can see the hybrid right there in the womb. Karen Wilkinson was an abductee and was impregnated by them 3 times. I mean, how many times do we have to hear this?
Wow.
And it's not conspiracy theory. This is why in the Runs of Disclosure book, and look, there's 33 films and 15 books. Number 15, we have 45 minutes or whatever. So we're going to scratch the surface.
L.A.
But we have 17 rungs on the ladder of disclosure. Since then, we are up to rung number 22 right now. So because the book was out about a year ago, and you can go to runsofdisclosure.com, see all the rungs, and then there's videos, which I do on every new rung of disclosure. So this is happening. Brett Baer, it's one of the rungs of disclosure. Let me just get to the table.
Is that right?
Yeah, Brett Baer, this is the most conservative guy on the planet. And let's face it, when Brett opens his mouth, there's no hyperbole here.
It is conservative.
Right? Completely.
Yes.
Very, 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 very much so. So it's the 7th rung, alien abductions, in the book, chapter 8, the 7th rung. And Brett Baer says this, that some women who are aboard UFOs find themselves pregnant.
What? I didn't pick up what he said then.
At Hammond Care, we've been caring for people for more than 90 years. So if you need...
Why do they give it to Brett Baer?
Yes.
This is one of the most unbelievable stories in the 21st century. And yet, here it is on Fox News, and they're just matter-of-factly just bringing it out. The church needs to understand that it's a seed war. I got this from Gary Stearman years ago. Genesis 3:15. It's the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve have fallen. They've sided with the dragon. Their DNA has changed. Don't ask me how that works. Can I get down a sidebar real quick? And
please do.
Please,
LA. No, this is awesome.
3:15, so I can get back here. Okay, so when it says, "Behold, I tell you a mystery, we should all be changed in a moment, a twinkling of an eye at the last trump," right? What is that twinkling of an eye? How do we change in the twinkling of an eye? So some people have posited, well, we're just going to go up and be with the Lord. The clothes will be here and will be changed. Not so fast, citizen. I don't think it's that way, because we have examples of people going up. Everyone, Jesus, when he goes up, everyone watches him go up. The two witnesses, future, which are killed, the body lays on the streets of Jerusalem. They go up. The whole world watches them go up. Elisha sees Elijah go up, and on and on and on it goes. Right.
Yes.
So we have precedent in the biblical prophetic narrative which tells us this is what's going to happen. Is it because, and here's something else to think about. When Isaiah finds himself in the throne room,
Yeah.
I am a man of unclean lips. Why does he say that?
Yeah.
Because his sin nature is still intact.
Wow.
Sin nature, it's there. He's bringing that up into heaven. And he knows it's like, I don't belong here, man. Listen, I'm a man of unclean lips. What do I do? So they rescue him. Here's, think, how does that work? Technology? I mean, it's like, that's the real Holy Communion right there.
It really is.
Whatever it is. So, but Isaiah comes back. In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, what I believe it is he changes our DNA. He removes our sin nature. Why? Because you're not going to get millions of people going up to meet Jesus in the clouds with their sin nature intact.
So
that ain't going to happen. It's
so good.
not going to happen. No way. Because he's a holy God. And we're going to go up there and
Well, we're getting visions and dreams from the holy God, and we're still sinful. I think they're wrong there.
Resurrected immortal bodies were changed, and our sin nature is removed. So let's go back into Genesis 3:15.
Please.
Adam and Eve have just sided with the dragon. They know something has drastically changed in them. It's visceral. They know it. They are hiding from the Lord. They are terrified. You don't hide from someone unless you're terrified. I mean, that's basically it. You don't want to be seen because we don't know what's going to happen here. So we all know the story. The dragon is over here, and I wrote about this in Countermove, how the Nephilim returned after the flood. We don't know how long the temptation went on for. But I don't believe it was a day.
Interesting point.
Yeah, I don't believe this is the first encounter. Oh, hi, Nakash, how you doing?
Yes.
Oh, you're by the tree again.
Uh-huh.
I think both of them, both Adam and Eve, had discourse with this guy. A year, a month, 10 years, we don't know. The Bible is
right.
Too silent.
That makes much more sense.
But Eve is not taking it back. She's not saying, how come you can talk? Who are you anyway?
Yeah.
This dialogue is going on. The enemy just chips away, and waits for his opening. That's what he does. He's an evil son of a gun.
Yes, he is.
So he wears Eve down to the point where she succumbs. Adam takes. Now they're hiding. Jesus shows up. Pre-incarnate Christ shows up in the garden. Dragon's over here. Adam and Eve are over here. They're terrified. And Jesus says, in my opinion, the most important phrase in the entire biblical prophetic narrative. He looks at the dragon. Your seed, your offspring, will be at war, at enmity with the seed, the offspring of the woman. The proto-evangelion, the Messiah, the one coming from the woman, is going to crush your head. You will bruise his heel. It's the whole Bible.
So
it's the whole Bible. It's right there in Genesis 2:15. But if you don't know it, then when you get to Noah, what the heck's going on? When you get to the Tower of Babel, what's going on? Abraham and the kings, what's going on?
Right.
The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. And 45 years ago, when I'm a brand new Christian, I'm reading this and going, wait a minute. Jesus, I get, sort of, I've given my life to him, whatever that means, because 45 years ago, it's just like, I'm not sure what that really means, but yeah, all right. So, I mean, what are we really looking at here?
Yes.
And it's like you get to the flood of Noah and the Tower of Babel, and it's like this God of the Old Testament is I don't want to use the word evil, but my gosh, he's really got an axe to grind, doesn't he? He's like, wipe them all out, huh? He's like this pernicious God up there. It's like thunderbolts and lightning.
I know it. That's what they say. Yeah.
Until you plug the Nephilim in, it'd be 10 years before I would get Dr. Ida E. Thomas's book, The Omega Conspiracy. Book changed my life. All of a sudden, you plug in the seed of the serpent. You plug that in, the fallen angels, the Nephilim, and you go, oh, I get it. I totally get it. And I've dedicated the rest of my life. 35 years I've been I've been doing this. I mean, that's
You say something really profound, Ellie, when you're talking about going up the same way Jesus did, and we're leaving and all that. You have a statement, and you say, "When we go up, they show up."
that's it.
Can you help us with that?
Yeah. Before I do that, this is what the other side of the aisle is saying.
Yeah.
This is channeled information
Mhm.
from a woman who wrote a book called Bringers of the Dawn.
Mm.
Bringers of the Dawn is another name, an occult name for the fallen angels. She doesn't know that. She doesn't know that because she's taken them in, and they're communicating with her. This is voice to skull communication, automatic writing. However she's doing it, and this is information from the so-called Pleiadians. With all due respect, these are fallen angels.
Yes.
These are interdimensional beings. Listen to what they say. There is a potential for many people to leave the planet in an afternoon. The people who leave the planet during the time of Earth changes do not fit here any longer, and they are stopping the harmony of the Earth.
Oh
That's
my
us.
gosh!
That's us.
Listen to that.
You're explaining away the rapture of the church. I heard this 50 years ago when I was in the New Age, 50 years ago. I heard this, and nothing has changed. That's how they're going to explain it away. Thank Zeus, we finally got rid of those pesky Christians, right?
Thank you.
Right? I mean, that's what they're going to say. Thank the Anunnaki. They took all these troublemakers out of here.
Wow.
They've already explained it away. So when we go up, and this is conjecture.
Yeah.
If you have not seen this, go to YouTube and Google Super Bowl 2024, the commercial, "Hello Down There." This is predictive programming. Why? Because mile-wide craft appear over all the cities of the world.
Yeah.
Now they don't have time in a minute and 30 seconds to do all the cities, but they show a city in Texas or a little diner in Texas. Then they go to New York City. Then they go to Paris, France. Then they go to Japan. What they're signaling filmically, storytelling-wise, is this is a global event. It's a global event. And so I find it very interesting that they've telegraphed that in the 2024 Super Bowl. 3i Atlas, and in the rungs of disclosure, the very last rung will be, in my opinion, there's going to be a nuclear event that will happen on the planet. A nuclear event on the planet. That nuclear event triggers, that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for that. Because if you have a nuke going off now in a city, let's say, God forbid, Tel Aviv, but I mean, who knows, right? Right? You just don't know. You don't know where it's going to happen. You get any nuke going off Kiev, it's possible. You don't know. You get one nuke anywhere on the planet because we're all interconnected via the internet, the satellite network. This event creates the greatest climate of fear that humanity has ever experienced collectively.
Wow.
Fear is the calling card of the dragon. That's when they show up. That's when they show up.
And
that's conjecture.
Well, I think you're very accurate. Project Bluebeam, Project Blue Book, all that. But even with believers, I think there's a normalcy bias that they look at what's happening and they just shift away from it. There's a bias with the Book of Enoch, and I think the Book of Enoch does need some framing so people understand it. But there's a bias with it, and even one of the things that I so often run into is people say there was no pre-Adamic civilization, there was none of these things. What is your take on that, L.A., the pre-Adamic civilization? Do you have thoughts on that? Or
yeah, I do, absolutely. If you read G.H. Pember's book, Earth's Earliest Ages, there's something going on. The Bible is kind of silent about it, but there's a war in the heavens, and something very, very strange happens because, in my opinion, it's a recreation, and we don't know from when the war happens to when the Most High God, El Shaddai, goes, let's fix this. We don't know. There's a window of time. It could be millions of years. We just don't know what we're looking at. And something was going on here. The dinosaurs are all wiped out. Why does the Lord create a bunch of stuff and then wipe it out?
Interesting.
And the paradigm we have is the ark. Take all these animals, bring them in the ark. Why does he do that? Because he wants them to survive. He wants them to repopulate. He's not going to recreate them. He's already done all that. So let's bring them in, and can you imagine that?
Oh man!
And we'll make it all work, which is what he does. And people laugh at Noah's Ark, and that's a nice little tale, pat you on the head, Sunday school nonsense. They don't understand. We are involved in a cosmic war.
Yeah.
Jesus' sacrifice, the scourging, incredibly brutal. The I mean, he's down to nothing by the time they get him up there.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
there's not much
Genesis
left.
really could be an aftermath of that war. When we start in Genesis,
I believe it is.
it's the aftermath. Wow.
It's the aftermath. That's what I think.
Something I really want to ask you about LA. We've talked about a few things before, and I love it. I love your comments on the Shroud of Turin. I love how you really have researched the elongated skulls and so many other things. Even the Roswell incident that you have a fragment of, which is fascinating. And there's so many of these things that you work through and you process that just bring such clarity to individuals. But do you believe, when we talk about the Nephilim narrative, the things that you've researched and seen, do you believe there are Nephilim hybrids walking around right now? Can you
Absolutely.
help the layman
Absolutely.
understand that?
Yeah, Jesus warns us to be like the days of Noah. There's a mixing of the seed. We know about that. Daniel 2:43. Their seed. Who are they? Their seed will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not cleave to them. The word cleave, thank you, Jim Wilson, I got it from him, is the same word that we get for marriage. There is no marriage. There's no joining together. They just take what they want. They take sperm from the men, ovum from the women. They are creating hybrids. In our film, which is the 10-box DVD set. By the way, this is the best UFO picture you'll ever see, right there.
That is amazing.
That's
the one you're referring to. Wow.
Yeah, that's the Convergaz UFO. And those beings you can see right
You
there.
can see them in the cockpit of that machine.
In the cockpit. Those are the grays. So in our fourth film, in our first and fourth film, we interviewed 2 men and 2 women. And the women all were taken. They were impregnated by them. The men were taken. Sperm was taken from them innumerable times, over and over, lifelong abductees. And in the film, on abductions, in the opening, I say, where do you go with this? You're completely full of shame. No one's going to believe you, And so what do? You hunker down and live in fear till the next time you're taken. Steven Spielberg did an incredible series called Taken. And if you haven't seen that, watch it. But you need to get prayed up. And I'm right down the line with him until the last two episodes, where the hybrid girl can stop time. And in my opinion, the end of that, Chuck Missler used to say that the Antichrist would boast some sort of an alien connection. And it's the mingling of the seed. The Antichrist has to be the seed of the serpent, because he's mimicking. It'll be the serpent's son. That's who it's going to be. It's the serpent's son. The dragon's son. He will be a hybrid, in my opinion.
Well, LA, people what we have to understand is, to really operate in this world, you need a physical body. You need a physical body to operate. And is that what they're after? They're after the ability to operate in the natural. And that's why they need to use seed. That's why they need human DNA to intermingle. And are they creating, this is something that I've heard or speculate about, is that what the grays are? Is that what aliens are that we see? Are they hybrids of human DNA and like Nephilim watcher stuff that gives them authority to operate in the natural?
Yeah. This is the deep end of the pool.
Okay.
So, we're down to a few minutes.
Oh, we can rock and roll. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is the deep end of the pool. We got to walk through it. Fallen angels, and think about. Let me just back up to the Book of Enoch. So the Book of Enoch.
Please, sir.
Why isn't this working? Come on, pen. Okay, the Book of Enoch. All right, and then we're going to go to grays, and then hybrids, right? Okay, because I'm gonna go. If I don't write it down, we're going to go down a rabbit trail, down another rabbit trail.
Your rabbit trails are amazing, LA. Come on.
Please. So Jude is the brother of Jesus. Now this is conjecture, okay? But we know that the Book of Enoch was widely read in the first century. The Dead Sea Scrolls have it. We know that. That's a matter of historical fact. Jude quotes it. You and I both know you don't quote something unless it's part of who you are, right? Is it possible that his older brother Jesus comes in with the Enoch scroll and goes, hey, Jude, I just finished the Book of Enoch. It's really good. You should check it out. you might need it someday. That's so I'm being very glib here and having fun with it.
That's
But it's
great.
a possibility.
Yes.
You know, it's like it just makes a lot of sense to me. So this is not taught in the seminaries. Most churches never talk about it because they never understand Genesis 3:15, mingling of the seed. The days of Noah, you've got the mingling of the seed, which is going on now, and you've got the Nephilim walking the earth. Everything is wiped out except for 8 people. 8 people.
Man.
And when you get there as a brand new Christian, you go, who is this God? Why is he doing this? Because I didn't understand. There's a whole occult paradigm. Fallen angels are taking wives, plural, and contaminating the gene pool. And if they're successful, Messiah will not be born because it won't happen. So all these Nephilim are running around. The gene pool is completely corrupted. I think the angelic host is guarding Noah and the family. And the idea that somehow, Ham's wife is a Nephilim, I'm not buying that for a second. God's not going to go, well, I'm going to destroy the earth, but I'm going to let Ham's wife, who's hoarding that Nephilim gene, and Noah's not going to know this? Come on. I'm not buying it. Not buying it at all. There's a second incursion, a third incursion, a fourth incursion, a modern day incursion.
Must be.
So the Nephilim are there, but destroyed. They are soulless. Their bodies die, but their spirits, according to the book of Enoch, and I'm right down with this, the spirits become the demons which wander the earth. They're earthbound.
Yeah.
Fallen angels do not need a body to come down and manifest. They can, metis modicai, thank you, Rosnizda, the Greek word. They're able to shapeshift and appear as whatever they want, as an angel of light. So I'm not making this up. He can appear as an angel of light if he wants to. What's his true form? I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. So this is why they come down, they do all this mischief. But you've got the flood, and you've got the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. So this is the deep end of the pool.
Yeah.
So they're demons. Demons have to possess a person, an animal, or an object. This is why if you go to Africa, you don't take a mask back with you. If you go to Peru, you don't start buying jewelry and artifacts and stuff and elongated skulls on chains. Don't do any of that. They could be charged objects. You don't know it. Don't bring them into your house. But that's a rabbit trail. So we know that the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim are the demons that wander the earth. We know that. So the dragon knows this, and the dragon's going, I've got all these troops here, and, I can't use them. So what does he do? He builds an avatar. He builds a construct. Those are the grays, a meat suit, an avatar. So the demon can go into the meat suit and work it.
Wow.
And manifest in here, in this dimension. The angels who were responsible for creating the Nephilim are locked away in gloomy dungeons. This is why, unless you get this, the Bible just remains closed. Where does Jesus go right after he's crucified? His body's in the tomb, right? Body's in the tomb.
Yeah.
They take him down. They wrap the head with a cloth. That's the Sudarium of Oviedo. They cover the body. That's the Shroud of Turin. And he's laying in the tomb for 3 days. Where does the spirit go? Where does he go? He goes right down to Tartarus. And who's in Tartarus? The fallen angels.
Okay.
The fallen angels, not the demons. The fallen angels are there. And they're locked in gloomy dungeons. How does that work? Well, there's no technique they do a great escape. Nothing.
Powerful.
They're held there. Something is holding them back. And it's not that the Lord is just waving his hand and boom, something is going on here. We're not told. But he goes there first. Why does he go there? Checkmate. It's over. You didn't see it. Nobody saw it. It's done. And here's the deal. Nobody saw this. The dragon didn't see it, because if the dragon had seen it, he never, ever would have crucified the Lord of glory. Never would have done that.
So true.
And Mary, the two Marys, Mary's mother, Mary of Magdalene, and look, that's another rabbit hole. Oh my God. But the two Marys are there. Yeah, the two Marys are there with John. And the crowd is yelling, come down, save yourself. They know he can come down. They know it. The two Marys and John are waiting for him to come down. There is, okay, I get this. It looks like it's hopeless. He's got to come down. Why? How do you kill God? You can't kill God. And the Marys know who he is. So does John. They know he's God. They know he's the Messiah. You can't kill him. You can't kill God. The dragon's going, you can't kill God. How's that going to work? Nobody gets it. Nobody understands it. It's hidden in plain sight. Nobody gets it. But God dies.
Man.
God dies. The body's in the tomb. The spirit goes down to Tartarus and goes, guess what? Checkmate.
Oh.
And now he's the prototype of the rapture of the church. He's the firstborn of the dead. He's the firstborn of the dead. And he's got the shroud of Turin, which proves it. This face was laying on the shroud, and was hidden until 1898 when Secunda Pia took a picture of it. And this is the glass plate. So this is before. If you're under 30, you have no idea what I'm talking about unless you've taken a photography class. So in 1898, there are no iPhones. You take a picture. It's on a glass plate. You got to take it into your developing room. You got the chemicals, and this is what Secunda Pia sees. And he almost drops the glass plate because what's on the glass plate is a negative image, and here's the positive image. How the heck is that done? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And this is God's calling card, and he's still dead here. He's about to, and this is, I mean, it's just so cosmic. It's just ridiculous. So the grays are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, which are the grays are used as an avatar to house the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. Jesus rises from the dead, fully God, fully man, and he's the firstborn of the dead. Corinthians, right? Or Colossians, excuse me. First chapter of Colossians. So that he may be preeminent in all things, because in him the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile to himself all things on earth and in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. And here's another sidebar. Who does he appear to first? Who does he appear to first? Who is seeing all the stuff that goes on? I was kind of disappointed in The Chosen because I thought they were going to go there, but they didn't go there. Right. Who's there? Who's there? Who's got the most skin in the game out of all the disciples? Mary, not the mother. Mary. Who's the first one he calls? According to Chosen, he's Mary, and he calls her by name. She follows him. Who does he appear to first? Out of all the people,
I love it. Come on, L.A.
Right? Out of all the people, it's got to be Peter, right? Certainly, John the Beloved.
Right.
He's going to go to his imam. He's going to go to his mom. Nope. It's Mary.
It's Mary.
He's fully God and fully man. Did he sin? Absolutely not.
No.
But did he love her as a man? And I'm not talking in the carnal sense.
Right.
But did he love her as a man? Very, very possible there. Who's writing all the stuff down in the Garden of Gethsemane?
Wow, that's a good question. Wow.
Sees the angels, manifesting to him? Who hears the prayers? Who sees the great drops of blood? Well, it's not the disciples, because those three stooges are underneath the tree asleep. They're not seeing anything.
Yeah.
So it's got to be, well, I've heard people go, well, the Holy Spirit gave it to them. Okay, I get that. How does that work? Or was there an eyewitness? She loved him, which is why she's in the garden. Where have you taken him? She loved him.
Strong.
She knows she can't act on it.
Yeah.
But she loved him because he delivered her. And let me just give you a story here.
This is good, L.A. Come on.
So a couple of weeks ago, I was being oppressed by the enemy, and it was not going away. It was ongoing oppression. Okay, I'm just going to go, because it's no fun.
Imagine.
No fun. And
imagine.
Yeah. So I told Peggy we pray, but it's not, it kind of waxes and wanes. It's not full blown. It's not full tilt boogie all the time, but it kind of waxes and wanes like that.
Yeah.
So I'm in bed, and the Lord gets me up as He usually does, and it varies from time. It can be 12:30, it can be 3 a.m, and I have all these scripture that I memorized that He's told me to memorize. And I go through the litany, say all the scripture, and if I don't do it right, we circle back and I have to do it again.
Wow.
So it's like, we're playing for keeps here. And at the very end, when I'm all done, I raise my hands and I sing this one song. I raise a hallelujah.
Oh man.
In the presence of my enemies.
Come on.
I raise a hallelujah.
Come on,
Right?
L.A.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm singing that song, I raise my hands, and the Holy Spirit just comes over me. And I just sit there.
She certainly loved Christ, didn't she? I think Christ loved her too.
Or just tingling.
Not in a carnal way, but a bit more than in a sisterly way, if you know what I mean.
That's all I can describe it as.
Oh, man, come on, man.
Every
Hop
cell
up.
is just.
Don't sit there crying.
I can't make this stuff up. I didn't ask for this. He just instructed me in this, and here I'm doing this every night. It's been going on for 4 years.
Amazing.
So I go to sleep. I'm done. The oppression's still there, even though the Holy Spirit has just shown up. The oppression is still there. It's not going away, and I lay back in bed and I go to sleep. The next morning, as I'm waking, the Lord gives me a word. And he's done this for 45 years. And it's not like, some of these people, what says the Lord? And they go on for 5 paragraphs. It's like, I get one word. That's what I get.
Man, what are you doing?
If you get
can't
the
sit
paragraph,
there.
hallelujah, but that's not how it works. It's
So good, L.A. Come on.
I get one word, okay?
Yeah.
So I keep pen and paper right by the pen, on the bedstand. And there's a little alarm clock which gives me just enough light so I can write the word. So I get a word. It's like, 3 a.m. It's like right after I lay down and go back to sleep, the Lord gives me this word.
Didn't Jesus show up to Mary first? I think it was true. He showed up to her first.
So I write it down.
Think about that. You'd think he would have got a priest or something to witness his second coming, but he just got a humble woman.
M as in Mary, Magan as in Nancy. I'm going, Megan? Who?
Yeah.
What?
Interesting.
Lord, am I getting this right? I'm just immediately like, I'm not so sure about this one, right? I go back to bed, I go to sleep. And now it's 6:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock. I wake up and I'm looking at the thing. I'm going, much Magan, what? And as I'm walking to my computer and get my cup of coffee, and then I'm going to look this thing up, the Lord taps me on the shoulder and he goes, it's Hebrew. He has never done, Joseph, he's never done that in 45 years. It's always been in English. It's in Hebrew. I don't speak Hebrew. I have no idea what Magan means.
Well, you got me curious, L.A. This is
It's pronounced Mogain. Mogain. That's how it's pronounced. Mogain. Okay. And I look it up, and it means to deliver.
Oh. Oh.
But wait, it gets better.
Yeah.
This is on Monday morning. I get the word. I look it up, Mogain, and it means to deliver. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now it's Monday night and the Tuesday morning. Recite all my scripture, worship the Lord. Holy Spirit shows up. Lay back down. And here's the kicker. This happened so fast that if I had blinked, I would have missed it. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. But he came in. Wow. And the oppression, just like that.
Jesus.
Just like that. There's no equivocation. There's no debating about this. Well, if we do nothing, it's just boom. And then the Holy Spirit goes, look up all the miracles. Okay, wedding feast of Cana, he's not sweating it. Fill up the pots with water, right? Boom, it turns into wine. Leprosy, the 8 lepers over there, boom, they're all healed just like that, right? Lazarus, come forth. He's not sweating it. He speaks and it's done. Bam, come out. And Lazarus comes out. The demoniac, boom. Who are you? Legion? Okay, go to the swine. You're out of here. Everything, he's walking on the water. He's not going, well, I'm not sure I can do this. No. And then the boat, by the way, that's teleportation. He goes from the Sea of Galilee, and instantly they were at their destination. That is called teleportation. He goes from point A to point B, and the devil does the same thing.
The fact that he appeared to her first, that says a lot, Shawnee, because I said it before, you'd think he'd do it in front of a rabbi or something. Instead, he went to a woman from the 1st century AD who had no power in her life, I'm guessing, and he picks her to be the first one to see him resurrected. That's pretty cool.
Right? When he's in the desert, he's been fasting for 40 days. Where do they wind up? They go to the temple. How do they get to the temple? On donkeys? Isn't that Satan and Jesus riding on the donkey? No, it ain't happening. Teleportation. He's moved to the temple. And it's not figurative, it's literal. And then he takes him to a high mountain. How does he get there? Teleportation. From the mountain back to the desert. How does he get there? Teleportation. They can move. That's all. It's a supernatural world. Hello.
Hello.
So
it's called translation, and I think Apostle Philip done it in the New Testament, in Acts.
So I mean, it's deep, and
yeah, it is deep.
Explore the world the Viking way, in comfort and with more included.
Viking Spring Sale is now on. For a limited time, book an ocean voyage and your companion flies free. See your Viking travel advisor or book now at Viking.com.
That's on my bucket list. Do one of them tours where they go up the rivers in Germany.
I got real life insurance to protect us financially. You can choose up to $2 million cover. Click to request a quote now.
Their little bellies deserve the best. But 65% of puppies and kittens aren't getting the right food for their age.
Oh, come on, ads.
the oppression was lifted. It happened instantaneously. And then the Lord said, just look at all 37 miracles. You're feeding the 5,000. He's not going, well, maybe we need some more fish in here. Anybody got it? We'll go to McDonald's and get fish sandwiches. Yeah, that's get the bread and the fish. But that's not what he does. That's not what he does. Everything he does, because he's fully God and fully man, when he speaks, it happens.
Yeah, Gabe's been on 2 cruises. She reckons it's nice as well.
And he's not sweating it. And that, thou, O Lord, are a shield about me.
When I went to Bali a year ago, I liked the street food diet. It was very cheap and it was everywhere. It was nice.
Because that's what more Gwain can also mean. M-A-J, you're a shield. It is unbelievable.
That is just powerful. L.A., what is something that's very thrilling for you that you're working into right now? Is there something coming up that really moves and inspires you that you see coming around the corner?
I've had two waking visions in my life. One I can talk about that happened about 35 years ago.
Wow.
And because I've been with the Lord 45 years. I turned 75 this year.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no
Great, L.A.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You do.
It's because of the coffee that I all in. So
Jesus.
Yeah. And I'm in my van. I have a cabinet shop. I've got 9 employees. My daughter's got leukemia. We're behind in our mortgage.
Come
I hate
on,
what I do. I'm trapped in this. I love woodworking, but the business end of it was a nightmare. Because these women, you would go in and they went, I just want it perfect. It's like, you didn't tell me that when we signed the contract.
Yeah, that's right.
I was in and I was a worship leader at a church. I was a worship leader 25 years. I'm writing all this music and everything. All I want to do is become a Christian singer, and get a record deal. And none of that ever happened, but I digress. So I'm like crying. I'm in the van. I'm driving down the canyon in the Santa Monica Mountains, and I'm crying because I'm just overwhelmed. And in the windshield is his face, but the eyes are wide open. Now, how do you see his face in the windshield when you're driving the car?
Right.
How does that
right?
Right?
Wow.
It's like, well, it does. His eyes were like flaming fire. Revelation 19. I didn't see the crowns, but the eyes, flaming fire. I wrote a worship song, burning with love for us. I was just overwhelmed by it, completely overwhelmed by it. And I wrote a worship song and we recorded it. Holy love burning for us, the holy love of Jesus. Fast forward to this past February. I'm laying in bed in Oklahoma. I don't like Oklahoma because after we lost the house in the fire in 2018,
Right.
we
I
moved to
remember.
Oklahoma. So it's got a lot of PTSD. It's got a lot of triggers for me. I have to really watch it when I'm there. I really do. Really have to watch it because you can get triggered. PTSD is a real deal.
It is a real
So
thing.
we lost everything, and then we lost my brother's wife. Then we lost my Peggy's mother. She passed away. Then in February, so the thing happens November 9th, the fire. Then in December 13th, Janie passes away. Then in January, Peggy's mom passes away. Then in February, we moved to Oklahoma. Then in June, my business partner, Richard Shaw, passes away. Too
Man,
much.
LA. Way too much. Way too much.
Right over. And I had counseling. I sought some help because you can't. And this is the thing with men. Well, I don't need any help. I can just walk.
Oh, that's true.
We need sounding boards. We need people we can trust and talk. And I was lucky to find a person who helped me with that. So where was I going with this? So the second waking vision I had was in February this year. I am not allowed to talk about it. I'm not. The Lord said this is between. I was allowed to talk to one person, Gary Stearman. In fact, he instructed me, go tell Gary, but don't tell. My wife doesn't even know what I saw.
Wow.
And it was, Joseph, it was as real as talking to you right now.
Wow.
I mean, I just sat there laying in bed going like, how is this even possible? How is this working? And I wrote a little poem with it. So the Lord showed me something, and he's not released me to say anything about it. I'm not trying to tease the audience, but
I follow.
yeah, but I'm not allowed to talk about it, and I think we're close to.
Hi,
something
Trace.
big
Good to
about it.
see you.
That much I can say.
I do too.
Very close.
You feel it in the air. You feel it every day.
You feel it.
Pressure. Oh,
It's visceral.
it is so powerful and strong. You feel it coming, and dramatically so. I have to say about you, LA, I respect you so much. You are one of the great leaders of our time. You are, sir, because you've
Hopefully,
no, listen, because you've brought up things when it wasn't popular to bring out these topics. Way back in the day, all that, you were bringing these things to light, and people looked at it like a sidebar issue, like it wasn't there. Now it's mainstream, and the Lord is using your voice.
Amen.
Honestly, I believe one of the leading points to
I like L.A Marzulli.
bring people to clarity in these complicated issues. And I just thank you for it. You're a prophetic voice. You're a profound writer, and you're a researcher. You're an archaeologist. We could call you that because you're like Indiana Jones. You go to these places. And so, LA, I'm just so very grateful for you. Not only have you discovered real remains of metal fragments right there at Roswell. Do you have that piece with you? Look at this. That is metal that you found at the Roswell crash site.
yeah. And it was buried 8 inches in the ground. And the crash site, just so you know, has been seeded by the powers that be with 12-inch metal spikes. Why? Because a 12-inch metal spike, you have a metal detector, this is what you find.
To throw it off?
Nope. To throw it off. You don't find this. So Frank Kimbler and Chuck Zukowski are brothers in all things ufology. They were out there with metal detectors, and Frank knew where the spikes were. So he's outside that. And he goes, I got a hit. And we showed this on film. And Chuck Zukowski stated, we are the only film crew in the history of whatever that's ever shown the metal actually coming out of the ground. We show that in our film on Roswell.
On Roswell.
Whatever, it's there. So we show this, and this is what it looks like. It's where is it? It's in the palm of my hand right there.
There it is. Yeah, I see it.
And we went to a SEAL lab. It's called something else now. Scanning electron microscope. This thing is folded up in on itself. And we went down about 300 times magnification. And you can see it. It's folded. How does that work? And
Wow.
If anyone's watching this, we're looking for an electric engineer because we think if we can somehow get current to this thing, it might unfold. We'd like to get that on film, obviously.
Oh my goodness.
So it's in
It's
this
unfold with a
Yeah.
current.
Yeah, possibly. That's conjecture. And
Okay.
it's an aluminum alloy, but it's right in between two aluminum alloys. And Frank tested his piece, Chuck tested his piece, I tested my piece. It's all the same. We're all getting the same thing. It's right in between these two aluminum alloys, but it doesn't match anything.
My goodness. And so you're running tests and there's more to come, is what you're saying.
There's more to come. Yeah.
There's more to come. My goodness, that alone is just profound. I mean, who has that? What God's done through you. Are you going to be going back to South America anytime soon? Going to do more in your films?
Well, this is what's interesting. The Lord took us off the road. We got out of 16 conferences this year. 16. And we're just
I hope he locks him up, Di.
concentrating on the Daily Show here in the studio.
That's wonderful.
I do a show 7 days a week. I'm waiting for marching orders. Right now, there are none. The last instruction I had, and it's funny. He goes, cancel all the conferences. What? But cancel all the conferences. Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yep.
And then 2 or 3 days later, he shows me why. So you go to a conference, you go to LAX. You know, it cost us for 5 days. It's $500 for a house sitter, dog sitter, the whole deal. Airport parking, food on the road. It's about $800 just to leave for 5
Just to
days.
leave.
That's what it is. And then I get an honorarium for $700. Can't do that anymore. And then I get there and there's like 300 people, 400 people. And the Lord showed me, now look at your YouTube. We're getting 10,000, 30,000, sometimes 80,000 eyeballs on our daily show.
Yeah.
And it's growing. We have over 251,000 subscribers, which is a lot for us, you know.
It's massive.
And it's growing. So that's what we're focused.
They hide my numbers. When I hang up, let's say for argument's sake, when I hang up, it says 55 views. When I actually get off the laptop and get on the tablet, it's gone down to 22 views. So they steal a percentage of my viewers. They do, guys. I don't tell lies. You know that. That's what they're doing to me.
Trying to make your daily show better.
Well, LA, you know, you are such a leading voice at this time, and
Thank you, Joseph.
I'm so grateful for you. You inspired so many of us. I'm thankful for your relationship to Chuck Missler, who I never got to meet, but I learned so much from. But I'm thankful that we have you as a voice and such a leader in this space at this time. And so I just...
Yeah, I like Chuck Missler.
Everybody that's watching right now, just with me, would you all just please lift your hand and bless LA? Lord, I bless L.A Marzulli. We stand with the man of God. We speak protection over you. We speak life over you. We speak partners. I call in partners that will come to your ministry, your platform like never before. Lord, I bless this voice, this prophetic journalist, this prophetic archaeologist. I call it into being, God, the favor over this man's life, protection, and new insight into what he is to do. And I thank you for L.A Marzulli, Jesus. L.A., I'm so honored that you're with me today. Thank you for your time. You're so generous with your time.
Joseph.
Oh, my goodness.
And
I've got
you for
to
the
have you
prayer. Thank you for the prayer and the kind words. I mean, it means a lot. But before we go, folks, if you think you know Jesus, but you don't know him personally, then you don't know him.
That's
So
right.
you say, well, how do I get to know him? You believe on him who was sent. That's Jesus. Believe that he died for your sins and that he rose again from the dead.
Oh,
You
man,
confess that in
come
your mouth.
on.
Guess what? You're in the
Come
club.
on,
That's
John.
it. That's all you got to do. In the privacy of your own home. That's it. And he will come in. When you invite him in, he will come in. I guarantee it. And your life will never be the same. All glory to the King, because I'm just a sinner saved by grace, and it's he that has raised me up into what we're doing now. Thank you, Joseph. Really appreciate it.
Oh, my goodness. And Ellie, how do people go to your YouTube channel? What's it called?
Yeah, it's just L.A Marzulli, but the website is runsofdisclosure.com, runsofdisclosure.com, or lamarzulli.com. Yeah, there it
You
is.
need to get this book, The Lungs of Disclosure. So many things Ellie's talked about are in here and more. I encourage everybody, follow LA's daily program.
Okay, enjoyed that.
Well, the whole thing with Charlie Kirk, something being... We're living in some interesting times, my friends. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We have tomorrow a harvest blood moon on October 6th. We had our president put out a video that seems to be related, saying something. We'll get into that. It really ties into a prediction that was made. We'll get into all of that. We have, of course, also what's going on in the UK. We got a clip of Joe Rogan talking about it. We have here also Fabio on Bill Maher. And we have also a number of updates with regards to, well, the whole thing with Charlie Kirk. Something.
Nah. My doggy won't sell itself out for $49. No Paul Begley deal here, Diane.
Being said, my friends, we have them saying that there was no, of course, blood. We'll get into that. We got Candace Owens. Some people are saying she's losing her mind. We'll get into that as well. And something that she pointed out. We actually got a ton of other stuff. We got a ton. All right. Let's just get going here. We'll start with this one in the UK. All right. We'll get into this big story about what's going to happen on this blood harvest moon, because I think we're starting to enter into something new, my friends. Maybe hopefully better than the Twilight Zone, right? Let's just watch this first, though. Check this out. So here we have a guy being arrested for posting a meme. Okay, check this out.
Basically, Section 19 refers to spreading what say like racial hatred. So we post something online that we believe is spreading racial hatred.
Twitter, Facebook.
I can't explain too much. It's just give you the context beforehand. So we put you into this. Because you've never been arrested for that.
Yeah, once or twice.
Once or twice.
Frequent flyer.
Apologies, I didn't think you were.
Frequent flyer.
Basically, how it works now is then, obviously, if you've got stuff you'd like to gather, obviously I'm more than willing to talk through what you're able to take with you.
What, you're taking me away now?
Yes, so you're under arrest, so you go to Harrogate, unfortunately.
You're taking me to Harrogate in the middle of the night over a tweet?
I am.
Yes,
Is
indeed.
this what you signed up the police to do?
This is my role. I'm trying to be reasonable with you, mate.
So
if there's stuff you'd like to gather, I'm more than willing to allow you to gather some sort of stuff like medication, if you've got any numbers you need.
You do understand I'm going to make the maximum fuss about this free speech union.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you guys just doing your jobs, obviously, but your head bosses have just opened up a world of.
Trust me, if I didn't have to be here, I wouldn't have been. But I'm happy to do
I'm quite certain you two have gone.
Definitely doesn't want to be there. Who would want to do a job like this? So no one likes this. No one likes this. The people under the law, the police officers don't want to do this. No one wants. Those at the top are the only ones who want this, of course. They're the only ones that want this.
And it's a Muslim screaming for this in the UK because they want to do Sharia law.
50 better things to do.
Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the guy's getting arrested for posting a meme about Hamas. Literally. And, of course, now they're trying to bring in the digital ID. We've talked about this. Joe Rogan. Let's check out this clip from Joe Rogan about this.
There's a lot of stupidity with our freedom, but that doesn't mean the government should be fucking spying on you. The thing is, in other countries, they just are. Like in China, they just are.
They already have the social point system.
Social credit score.
Yeah, social credit score.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So if you jaywalk and they get a photo of your face, so they have biometrics, they get a photo of your face, they know it's you, you think it's ding, now you can't buy a plane ticket. Yeah.
Black Mirror stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, it's just like
reality.
that.
100%, man. And this is something they've been trying to bring into America as well. They're trying to do it everywhere. And we know who's doing this. And I think our president is actually trying to get these guys. We're seeing him getting going after Comey, right? And it's interesting because our president's using different language and passing certain orders, executive orders and laws now. He's now talking about, let me show you this. And I'll kind of paint a picture of what's going on here. So let me just play this clip. I don't think I even played this clip on my other channel. Check this out. He mentions this word right here. Okay, saying that all these people in these cities like Portland, Chicago, are actually insurrectionists.
Portland is burning to the ground. You have agitated insurrectionists. All you have to do is look at the television, turn on your television, read your newspaper. It's burning to the ground. The governor, the mayor, the politicians.
So what's going on here is this isn't like usual. Okay, something has changed. Let me show you what's really going on. I'll show you two things that'll make it clear. Democratic Socialists of America voted to establish an anti-fascist working group. Okay, this is from reason.com. Okay, what is going on here? Now think about this. So look at the past. Let's look at various countries in the past where communism or socialism came in, or Marxism. They may start off in a political realm, but then they move into other things. We're talking revolutionary type things. And this is what I think you're actually starting to see in some of our cities. And our president is identifying it as that. Okay? Meaning this isn't just political dissent. You have this woman here, Lamaghi, who has a history of doxing, ICE agents. Today rammed her vehicle into one of their vehicles. This is what I'm talking about. They're acting and doing things that are essentially like revolutionary.
They are.
In nature. This is the direction they're now taking it. So they don't like the form of government we currently have, is what the point is. They're not wanting to work in that form of government. They want to change it and put something else in. That's what's being said here, essentially. Long story short, you're seeing these cities directly going against what our president's doing. And gangs, cartel members are now fighting against, ICE. Check this out.
Intelligence indicates that these people are organized. They're getting more and more people on their team as far as attacking officers, and they're making plans to ambush them and to kill them.
Right. And I saw videos of them like following around the ICE agents with their vehicles, and a lot of them seem to be not from this country. That's another factor. Okay, that's another factor a lot of people are not paying attention to with regards to this. So I think what's going to happen here is our president's going to try to secure all these cities. And I think also a lot of this is to get these people, of course, at the top as well. You have here CBS News now reporting that our president is planning for Comey's perp walk. But one of the agents that was supposed to do it refused to do it. They suspended that agent. Okay, so they're planning on having him being arrested. And what's interesting is tomorrow is the blood harvest moon. And there's this video our president put out. Check this out. I'm not going to play it.
Vas, on that link you sent me, I had a look at it, and someone said, "Don't worry, we have the Avengers." Clever bugger.
The music to it, actually. There's music to it. I can't play it because it'll do a copyright. But you can see here a death angel. You see that? In DC, as you can see. What's going to happen? He put this out recently, and that was on October 6th. You can see here, this is the day of the harvest moon, blood harvest moon. Okay? So, what's interesting is I talked about these prophecies, predictions, one from Kim Clement. Many will fall in the fall. We are now in the fall. And there's another person who has a good track record of predicting things correctly. And she said this back in July. The first two that will go down will be Comey and Brennan. And after that, all the dominoes will fall. I had a dream a couple nights ago where I was essentially in some large building. It was kind of like a house. And it had this central pole that was holding up the house and a stairwell around it. And then it had a bunch of support members off the central pole. Now, this isn't a normal house, obviously. That's not how houses are built. This sounds more like a teepee or like some sort of makeshift building. But it had all these support members holding it up. And I saw a couple at the top fell, and it knocked all the other ones down. And all these support members went down the stairwell, and there's just like tons of them. And I didn't know what the dream meant when I initially had it, but I asked God, and He told me it had to do with those at the top falling. And it was only a couple at the top that made all the other ones fall. And it actually correlates with what she said. And it also ties into what Kim Clement said, many will fall in the fall. And we have the blood harvest moon tomorrow, which I believe spiritually is essentially saying this. So I think we're going to be seeing that happen. This is from Bull Pony here. Harvest moon is a biblical theme associated with the end of days. Harvest moon, the full moon closest to the autumnal equinox, occurring in October 6th, approximately. Historically provided light for farmers to gather crops in autumn, a critical time for harvesting. Biblically, the harvest describes God's provision and judgment. Harvest moon is a sign of God's blessing in Deuteronomy 28:8, Matthew 13:24-30. Burn the wheat in the tares. Jesus describes the kingdom of heaven as a harvest where the righteous wheat are gathered into God's barn while the wicked tares are burned. So could this be? And then Joel 3:13 speaks of the harvest in God's judgment. Put in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe at the end of days, reaping, pointing to divine reckoning, which of course is shown in the video our president put out. Are we going to see that happen now? Very quickly here, that's an interesting thing to think about. And we're starting to see things sort of come together for that. At any rate, so also we have, of course, a number of other stories to get into in this video. We're going to talk about Charlie Kirk. We're going to talk about a lot of other stuff as well. We're going to play a Bill Maher clip and a number of other things. First, I'm going to mention.
I got to admit, guys, I'm almost all Charles Kirk out.
Food supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. 3 months plus an extra month, 4 months worth for $6.97. Go check it out. Link is in the description for that. Lost Ways. How your great-great-grandfather lived without electricity. How about a cellar, do things around the house as he did in the old days. Hundreds of pages illustrated. You're going to definitely need to have before the power goes out. And if what I'm thinking is going to happen happens, you're probably going to want that book. Get the printed version. Link is in the description for that. All my other social media is linked below as well. All right, so let's play this clip here. Bill Maher talking about what's going on in Europe, the migrants, the laws. Here he's talking with Fabio about this.
In Italy, and he just retired because he told me, Fabio, I mean, I cannot believe where our country is today. And I said, well, what's happening?
I remember Fabio, there's a picture of him getting off a roller coaster and a seagull hit him smack in the face. It's so funny.
He goes like, number one, Italian citizen, they are fifth-class citizens, not even second class, they're fifth-class citizen.
Meaning?
Meaning, then everything, the government supply everything to the immigrant. Everything's for free for the immigrant. The pension plan is pretty much gone. You know, you have old people, 80, 90 years old, they go and collect their pension plan. The government says, go home because we have no money. But in the meantime, they give free phone, free everything, free.
I mean, this is a similar complaint we hear in America.
But but this has been going for many, many, many years in Europe. I mean, our police don't want anything to do. In the middle of major city, you will have 40, 50 people from Arab country, from Africa.
I can't even play what he said. Okay, so what he ends up talking about, 40, 50 dudes from various countries in a gang go after, of course, women and do stuff in the middle of the street. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about what you're thinking. Literally the worst thing you can think of. In the middle of the street in Italy. He's talking about Italy there. He says that Italians are fifth class in their own country.
They tried to do that here in Australia. They sent all these illegal immigrants in by boat, and they're all from like Iraq, Iran, and places like that. How do they get on this side of the atmosphere? Anyway, our government locked them up and sent them home and deported them. We didn't let them do it. And now look at the problems they're causing around the world. Everywhere there's more than 3 of them living, they'll gang up on you. I'm talking about the Muslims, guys.
And this is something that they're trying to do everywhere. They're trying to bring that digital ID in. This again comes from the top. You know, these elites, as I mentioned already. It comes from the World, of course, Economic, Forum. This is where it all came from. You will own, nothing, and at the same time be happy, as they said, right? Anyway, so you got that story there. You got, and tying into what's going on with our cities like Chicago and Portland, where it seems sort of revolutionary, some of this stuff, you have this.
Best part of aging? We know what works. New L.A Ultra Firming Serum. Clinically proven to visibly reduce pores, smoothen wrinkles, and lift sagging skin. New L.A. See firmer skin from day one. In emergencies, UNICEF is there for children with life-saving help in 48 hours.
Some decisions just work out perfectly, like your new Daikin AC, convenient controls and quiet. Unlike the decision to let the kids play inside. Make a smart choice with Daikin.
With a built-in 4-litre fridge delivering a temperature range of 5 to 55 degrees Celsius, always.
Famous rapper named Bad Bunny, who seems to be on the same sort of ticket with regards to this. He's all for the rainbow. He's all for crime. It seems like, at least from what I could tell, because he's a socialist. And so you're seeing that trend. So now no longer is it within our sort of governmental structure where you got different opinions on how to run this. Now some on the left has went so far off that it's like, no, we just need to get rid of this whole entire government and bring a different kind in, communist or something like that. That's where it's going in some respects. All right. So getting over to the whole thing with Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk. So a number of people are saying that Candace is losing her mind. I'm not saying that, but it is kind of interesting. Some of these clips, it's kind of funny, actually. Check this out.
Oh, yeah, genuinely, why do you think she's crazy? Just look at her. I said that. I went to jury duty. They said, how do you tell if somebody's guilty? I'll look at him.
For context, Candace Owens is one of the biggest political commentators. Meanwhile, some people say this homeless-looking chap is the biggest political screamer. I don't believe them. Either way, she went absolutely giga-viral with this clip.
What, bro? Like,
What's wrong with you, Mom? Are you so scared? You
What?
don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Are you so scared? You
She
don't
crazy.
get to ask those questions.
she crazy. Just look at that. Crazy. She nuts, bro. She's so crazy that it's almost hot. And it would be hot if I didn't already previously have a girlfriend that was more crazy than this was. And I know where it goes.
Dude, that's so funny, dude.
We're in the morning phone calls, text messages with I hate you and I love you that can fit on the same phone screen. It's a lot.
Oh, that's some funny shit, man. Yeah, so I don't know what to make of this. What is that clip? I'm sure it's, well, I don't know if it's out of context or not, but it is a little weird. I've seen a little bit of some strange clips, but actually she is saying some important things that I think are true in some respects. Some of the stuff she's saying is straight up true. I mean, actually probably more than some.
Shiny, I subbed her. I'll check her out later.
But right here, this is kind of interesting as well. I don't know how the executives at TP USA sleep at night. I'm starting to wonder if Charlie's entire life was a Truman Show. Well, in a second here, you might wonder the same thing when I show you what I got to show you next. So just to be clear, Candace Owens is honoring her best friend's legacy by going to war with her entire organization of legacy. So this is what this lady is saying about what she said, right? Well, it's kind of interesting because now we have this clip. This is something that needs to be, I actually ignored this at first. I was like, oh, come on, man. It can't be this. Come on. It can't be this. Okay. But the more I look at it, I just got to tell you guys, because this is crazy. This is crazy. There is no blood. There's hardly any. Okay. There's very, very little. Very low.
Most of the viewers out there have not treated a human being that's been shot. Okay. Those of us that have know blood is everywhere, Alex. It is, I don't want to say the F word, everywhere. There would have been
blood is fucking everywhere.
It's fucking everywhere. It had been over everybody's hands. It would have been over all of their shirts, pants, especially an artery shot like that. It's not possible that just no one has any blood on even their hands. So to me, what I want to know now is, you know why I was very suspicious about why we're not getting this high fidelity camera footage from